Приветушки-плюшки, я Тори, и мы продолжаем проходить Enderal. Я записываю уже, по-моему, 9-я серия, это по счету. Я записываю весь день, да, и мое горло, мне кажется, это спасибо мне вообще не говорит. Ладно, давайте искать. Мне просто прям, очень интересно. Я по-моему, уже как-то это говорила, но скажу еще раз. В общем, я хочу уже проходить тут все по максимуму. Поэтому я буду записывать, как только у меня появится возможность. Что-то, короче, где-то тут должно быть. Слушай, ты уверен, что это тут? Ой, нет, подождите, перед тем, как что-то спрашивать, надо сохраниться. А то с этим, знаете.
What?
О. Так, ну давайте.
It is. Why?
О, давайте знаем.
Actually, it's simple. Everybody who lives down here and earns money has to give a part of that to the latter every month and get protection in return. This applies to everybody, from beggar to crime lord.
Так.
That's an exception. On the contrary, the Order is quite happy with the way things are going down here. They take care on the shiny surface, and the Relata take care of the stinking caves below.
Ну хорошо.
You mean when it comes to killing cocky bandits and vampires? Quite powerful. I don't think you find more skilled sinistropes or assassins anywhere else. Of course, in a fair duel with a keeper, most voices would probably end up in the dirt. But that's not how.
Ну так и я тоже не в частном бою обычно. Я та еще крыска. Так, если я тебя спрашиваю, если неизбежно, то почему просто не подождать, пока он Enderal не исчез? Так, он ничего на это нет.
Okay, let's assume for a moment that we don't intervene and kill the father on the expedition. There are 3 possible scenarios to how this visit to the room of paintings would go down. Number 1, it goes wrong and he and whoever follows him inside all die. This is the only case where you're right. Number 2, he succeeds and actually manages to separate his mind from his body. Then we'd have a spectral murderer floating through the world possessing powers we can't even begin to imagine. Number 3, the temple turns out to be a dead end and he returns to the Undercity. Then we might have missed the only chance to even get close enough to kill him. You get my point? It's too much of a risk to sit on our hands and hope scenario number 1 happens.
Так, давай больше. Потому что нужно знать своего врага.
Fine. I can give you the essentials, but beyond that, I can't be bothered. Ask.
Что вообще значит стать
To leave your old life behind you. All contact is buried, all bridges burned. Most Relame call themselves orphans even if they once had a family. In other words, if you conscribe yourself to the Relata, the Relas and its teachings are your new life and the Relame your new family. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you dream is subject to the goal of achieving transcendence. Liberation from the human body. Since the father founded it 400 years ago.
Ни хрена себе.
Correct.
Чё?
Nobody knows, but I would guess it had something to do with his experiments. All those children's corpses must have been good for something, don't you think?
Ну да.
This and that. Most of the time I'm busy reminding the residents of the Undercity to pay their shadow tax. And to make them feel the consequences if they don't. Anything from a clout to the ear to a knife between the ribs. Alright, 2 things. First of all, I've killed no more than a handful of people for the Relata. And they weren't poor women with babes sucking at their teats, but scum, who knew the rules and thought they could play rebel. Believe me, it takes a lot for the Relata to order the death sentence for someone. They are criminals, yes, and they are led by a monster, but they are not stupid. If every misdemeanor were to be punished by decapitation, it wouldn't be long until there'd be a revolt in the Undercity. Secondly, nothing in life comes for free. If you think you can achieve something of relevance without compromising a part of yourself, then you're a fool. The death of the father could be worth 100 dead cutthroats, and I'd put arrows into each of their chests if it would get me any closer to my goal.
Что? Целео сообщил о вашем взломе стражар. Вот блин! Да пофиг. Вот он крыса. И поверили тебе, он же просто алкаш. Это я когда меняла бочку, меня алкаш спалил. Да пофиг. Так. Блин. Ну давайте, в этом есть смысл. Надо ему поддакивать, да? Ценит это. Отлично!
It didn't come easy, and some of the things that I did to not lose my cover will haunt me to the grave. But you know what?
What?
Sad as it is, the world needs people like me. All these do-gooders who think they could fight evil without getting their hands dirty are self-righteous idiots. The monsters of this world, the murderers, the tyrants. You need to speak their language if you want to be a threat to them. Everything else is a delusion.
Так, успешно поговорили. Блин, ну я ничего не вижу. Здесь должны быть его эти кости, но здесь вообще ничего нет. Короче, вот они, вот, ну как? Пошли, Торри. Иди смотри, вот он. Ну как это может быть его скелет? Я не понимаю. Я вообще-то леди. Я не буду копать.
Here we go. This must be it. Pretty big. What the blazes did he put in there? What's that smell?
Ну там явно ничего хорошего. Сохранюсь на всякий случай.
What the? Oh shit.
Что это?
You mean this body is... Nonsense. You want to know what I think? This is probably some poor sod that crossed this lunatic's path at the wrong time. So we put him right into the crate with the pages. Bloody son of a whore.
Я уж не боюсь им что-то говорить.
Well, fuck if I know. We're talking about a man who murdered 10 girls in cold blood because his cult ordered him to do it. I think you'd be well advised to stop trying to apply logic to his thinking.
Ну да.
Right you are. Come on. You take them.
А чё я? Ты ссышь, да? Деревянная маска. Кошелек. Последнюю улыбку Коляна.
Got them? All right. Back to Carlian.
Разрешите ситуацию с Коляном. Ну, мне придется встать вот на сторону вот его, потому что если он не оценит это, то ну, я уже говорила. Мне надо активно подлизывать ему его «С». Чё, куда идти-то? Далеко вообще идти-то опять? А, вот он. Кого ты там похоронил?
Whose corpse is in that chest?
What? But he told you, didn't he? It's Carlian. Naylock buried him. Yes. He said it before, didn't he? Carlian couldn't continue to live in this shell after what he did, so he shed it and gave birth to Naylock. And Naylock buried him, together with the memories.
А, как сложно. Ладно.
You don't believe him. You think Naylock is lying. But it's the truth, the simple truth. You
Ты как это понять? Как?
Sure. way, we have what we wanted. And now it's time for you to pay for your crimes, Carlian. It's been long overdue.
What? But you said that you'd spare him if he'd show you the pages.
We said that we would think about it. And guess what? I did. You're a murderer, Carlian. And you've killed more people than I can count. Men, women, and children. And you know what? This whole act about how remorseful you are, I'm not buying it. Yes, you drank your bloody brains into oblivion, but ultimately, the only one you truly pity is yourself.
Я не буду говорить ему ни вот это, потому что мне кажется, он опять тут запердит, что ой, бу-бу-бу, ну и пофиг мне, короче, все. Давай.
Yes. Any last words?
Разгадан.
Letho.
What?
Naylock remembers. By the name of the sun, you were in the refuge orphanage, you and your friend, Letho.
What do you know about the refuge?
Интересно.
He... Back then, before the flesh maggot plague, when Naylock was still strong, the Kyranian woman who ran the orphanage gave him work. Don't you remember? He carried crates, he cleaned the floor, he cooked.
That was you? Uncle Naylock?
Yes, that's what you called him, Uncle Naylock. By the Guardians, it's been so long, but he remembers it all now. You and your friend, you were inseparable. Until...
You're right. I do remember.
What?
You were there when they took us. Worse, you helped them. What did she pay you, that old cunt?
Ой, мне аж
Carrying
страшно.
crates, selling children to the Rolada? All the same, isn't it?
No, what? Naylock doesn't understand. He only...
Тебе с этим жить.
Let's go.
Чего не дослушал-то? Нет, интересно было. Хорошо, рискну, я просто если что вырежу.
Yeah. His face seemed familiar, but I just couldn't place him. Yeah. We called him Uncle Naylock. Shagun, the matron, gave him work as a gopher. He wasn't as much of a wreck back then. Can you believe it? A former serial killer working in an orphanage. Apparently the old cunt liked to surround herself with people as rotten as she was. It doesn't matter.
Ой, ой, ой.
I know it. He'd been there the night it happened. One of us, Wilma, she refused to go. She screamed and kicked, but Naylock held her while one of the father's voices gave her a sleeping potion. That fucking piece of shit. Well, as I said, we're done here. Next we need to bring the pages to the first seer, which will, hopefully, encourage him to consider you as a mercenary for the expedition. But we'll see. Before we do that, though, we need to discuss a couple of things.
Как и в разговорах с тобой. Ни одной ошибки, иначе все провал.
Meet me in my hideout tomorrow morning, alright? It's a small abandoned warehouse in the main cabin, right before the path up to the city. There's an old poster of the theater right next to the door. That's how you recognize it. The dark corners of our minds.
Хорошо.
Until then. And, good work.
Спасибо. Что это? Да уберите мне диалог-то. Отлично, мне нужно ждать. Это то, что надо. Цена греха. Какая-то картинка такая. Так. Ладно, полетели. Я хочу сдать задание, но у меня только под город, бараки. Ладно, давайте в бараки уж. Наконец-то выбрался из этих пещер. Идем сдавать камни, наконец-то. Которые так долго собирала. Я уже жду, когда будешь спать. Я уже, наверное, надоела про него трындеть. На!
Yes. Have you found any of the stones?
Я
Here
все
you go
нашла.
looking for a stone, and you simultaneously solve an Enderalian mystery. Good work. I had read theories about what happened to the Count, but this is not what I had imagined. I wonder what became of that girl.
Не надо тебе этого знать.
Seems as if a part of the stone's energy really was banished into her body. Just look at it, it's somehow duller than the others. But still, it shouldn't make a difference. Anyhow, let's see if we were right.
Brother, did you get my letter?
Ah, yes, I did. Magistrar Yale approved your request. We will take care of it as soon as possible. Your sister will be fine. I'm certain of it.
Good. That's good. Thank you. And may his light guide you.
And you.
Ё-моё. Ты нормик?
Fascinating. Truly fascinating. Well, exactly what we thought would happen, I'd wager. The stone connected with the beacon. And what a connection it was. I've never seen such energy, let alone felt it. But be that as it may, half a chicken doesn't make a cake. You still need 2 more stones.
Так на.
Yes?
На.
Oh my, that is horrible. I knew Dalgais wasn't exactly a paragon of virtue, but to abandon one's son simply because... I will never understand those sorts of people.
Блин,
But still, this
вспомнила этого
tragedy
мальчика,
tells
не
us we were
могу.
right about our theory regarding the stones. To destroy the village and make this boy suffer, that is perfidious, truly perfidious. At least all that suffering wasn't in vain. Let us insert the stone.
Ну давай. Ах, этот волшебный звук. Тебе не кажется, что ты слишком быстро идешь? Я прям вот не успеваю за тобой. Так мчишься.
This is a better place for all that energy to be than in the hands of some poor souls the High Ones are looking to poison.
Ну да.
Only one more stone to go now, Prophet.
Да я все собрала.
Hello.
На.
Oh, by the righteous path. His own sister? Poor man. I had heard about those murders. It's cruel, truly cruel. Why in blazes are the High Ones doing this? I think and I think, but I just can't find an answer.
Ну реально, такое ощущение, как будто им нравится, что происходит. Но, возможно, у них реально и нет намерений. Ну, я скажу вот это.
Maybe.
Это, по-моему, ни на что не влияет.
At least we now have all the stones. Let us complete the mosaic.
Ура! Наконец-то! Общаемся с моим любимым Чеспаром. Ого, сильнее всего жмыхнуло.
By the left path, what power! If we could really direct this, use it against the High Ones, phew, it might work.
Ну да, если никто ничего не разрушит.
Now are we? Wait a moment.
Оникс.
You feel that?
Что такое?
Something's different. The sea of eventualities.
Какое море
I
возможностей?
can't feel it anymore.
Ты о чем?
No, I don't think so. It's like a veil put in front of my eyes. This doesn't
Так,
bode
это
well. It
действительно
truly
ничего
does not.
хорошего.
Skyrim. He's currently trying to raise the barriers.
Чё?
The ones at the gates. They are meant to magically seal them as a protection against Korak's armies. The walls are nearly impenetrable, but the gates aren't. Skyrim said he would raise entropical barriers to
Так.
take care of that. Quickly, go see him and find out what is going on. I will secure the beacon as best I can. Go.
У меня дела. Куда идти? У меня дела. Не могу. Ладно, сейчас посмотрим, где он. Если что, я зайду в Чеспар.
I tell you it won't work.
But
Да-да.
why? That just doesn't make any sense.
Well
А
spotted.
где он? Почему не отмечен? А, вот он. Так, ладно, пошлите к Джеспару сначала. Он же, как всегда, в этом кочевнике. В арке, да-да-да. Я не думаю, что что-то произойдет, если я не успею. Ясно, произойдет. Жаль.
Slow thinkers among us. I recognize a magic blockade when I see one. And as long as it is active, we can't put up the barrier.
Вон и этот
I
бежит.
understand that you're upset, but an order is an order. I'm sorry.
What is going on?
Thank the sun, Harenfield. I'm trying in vain to make this highly intelligent commander of yours understand that these headaches are not arbitrary.
Grandmaster?
Skyrim is right, Commander. Something is wrong.
What the...
The Niramis are inside the city! They're inside the city, damn it! Prophetess, come here!
Да я тут!
What is the meaning of
Подождите.
the Niramis? They're inside the King's Bay. Their ships, they just appeared. I don't understand.
Этих
They
еще не
just
хватало.
appeared. Are you trying to tell us that an entire fleet entered our harbor and nobody noticed it?
Of course. They cast an invisibility spell on their fleet. The magical blockade prevented us from recognizing it. Good plan. Thanks to the utterly capable military around here. Well, it worked out perfectly.
Watch your mouth, wild
Да хватит ругаться, идиоты.
It does not matter how it happened. We must act quickly. Sharon, is the spell for the barrier of the gates ready?
One at the main gate, yes. Until now, we couldn't cast it because of the blockade. Can I give the signal?
Yes. They want us to panic, but we will not do them the favor.
Да вон там
Activate the
паникует
barrier,
женщина
then return
бегает.
to us. Soldier, you said that the Nerimes have already invaded the city. To what extent?
They're in the fog district, I think. They overran the harbour gate before we were able to close it. But Sergeant Harlechan has entrenched himself at the gate of the lower district. He won't be able to hold it for long.
Good. Commander, station your soldiers on the battlement and use arrows to keep the Nerimes at a distance. Don't let them get close to the market. You, Prophetess, will accompany me there. We will liberate the south quarter and then secure the harbor gate, so that Skyrim will be able to place a barrier there as well. At least the heart of the city will be safe then.
You're going to fight.
Yes. Now go. Time is of the essence.
Действительно, пока тут болтаете, уже
Soldier, follow me.
весь город могли
Are you
захватить.
ready?
Да пошли, да и какая разница?
We need to find Sergeant Harlian. The soldier said he's in the south quarter. Follow me.
Стоять, болтать, как так? Как они сюда попали? Ой-ой-ой, фу-фу-фу. Там нет смысла. Ух, ё-моё.
Bastards.
Убили! Блин, надеюсь, там не убьют моих торговцев. Мой рынок! Все горит!
Infiltrators. Just as I suspected.
Даже я когда превьюшку сделаю. Ладно, хоть вот дома и в порядке. Посмотрите. Подожди, это не та? А, нет. Уж перепугался, думал, это который я задание выполнял с картинами. Господи, Мират орёт. Разведчики в капюшоне в каком-то. О, смотрите, как они их мочат. Ну, конечно, с такой стражей. Как тут не помереть? Да уйди отсюда, шут. Ходит тут. И повар тут бегает. Ты чё вообще не сражаешься? Стоит тут, кувыркается. Ух, ё-моё! Вот это я могу. Даже облутывать их некогда.
I don't bloody care what you're thinking. Secure the damn gate.
Чего?
Sergeant Harlian
Спрятался за бочками.
It is an honor.
Да какая разница-то, а?
The honor is mine. What is the gate's status?
Честь, не честь.
Dozens of Naramis are behind this gate, and they're setting up rams.
Then we will stop them. We have to secure the harbor gate at all costs. Once we have done that, our majors will seal the gate.
Чё, мы с тобой пойдем туда?
This is all of you, I take it.
For now, yes. But reinforcements are on the way. I forgive my failure, Master. We should have seen it coming.
Да некогда нам это обсуждать.
I know. Now
Ой,
come on,
ой,
we
ой.
march out.
Вот именно, вот тут болтайте 300 лет.
Yes, sir. Guardsmen, the Grand Master is relying on us, and so is Malthus.
Ну, может, пойдем?
Live up to your names.
Пошли, что ты на меня смотришь? Я думаю, мне лучше сражаться со стрелами. Блин, у меня тут уже время, которое не резиновое. Так, мне нужно пространство. Это будет непросто. Ты чё? А, да хватит ты... Я сломалась. Понятно. Чё их не добиваете-то? Ой. Своего задела. Пошлите, пошлите, быстрее. Ладно, придется мечом сражаться. Мне уже заканчивать надо. Это кто? Блин! Это надо в первую очередь, надо его. Давай помогай, мне тут сейчас убьют. Кстати, они не такие уж сильные. Отлично. Давай, бей.
Close the gate.
Так, а как же те, кто там за воротами?
It's jammed, Sergeant!
What are you talking about?
Is it possible that the Naramis have sabotaged the mechanism?
Sabotage? Yes, of course, that must be it. What can...
The locking mechanisms of the gate are on both sides of the wall, correct?
Yes. Yes, Master, that's right.
Good. Prophetess, you and I will fix the cracks. Sergeant, in the meantime, you and your men will keep the Naramis off the gate. When we are finished, we will give the signal for retreat. Understood?
Yes, Master, of course. Get it, Omar, prepare the cannon. Let's show the bastards what it means to defy the light board. We will await your signal, Grand Master. May his light guide you.
And you.
Ладно, слушайте, пока тут есть время, давайте закончим. Я хотела с Джаспаром поговорить, мне не дали. Война началась. Да и тут с мужиком пообщаться. Ладно, всем спасибо за просмотр. Подписывайтесь на канал, на группу ВКонтакте. Нажимайте на колокольчик, чтобы получать уведомления о новых видео. Ставьте лайки, пишите комментарии. И всем пока.